Blood, there was blood on his hands. Mark didn't even know whose at first. He only knew that the rain was pouring hard enough to blur his headlights, that his little daughter Emma was asleep in the back seat, and that the thing lying by the roadside looked too still to be alive. He stopped his truck without thinking. A single dad, driving home from his night shift, shouldn't have been out in the storm. But fate never asks permission before changing a man's life. When he stepped out, he saw her, a woman, beaten, half covered in mud, trembling as if the cold wanted to pull her soul away. Her hair clung to her face, and her lips tried to form words but failed. "Help, please." That voice, even weak and cracked, made something inside Mark freeze. He knew that voice. It couldn't be. He pulled off his jacket and wrapped it around her. "Ma'am, hold on, I've got you. You're going to be okay." He gently lifted her. She was lighter than she should have been, fragile like broken glass. As the truck's lights fell over her face, his heart stopped. The woman he was holding wasn't a stranger. It was her, the woman who'd once torn his life apart, the woman who'd left him to raise a baby alone, the woman he'd sworn he'd never forgive, Lena. He drove faster than he ever had before, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. Emma stirred from her sleep in the back seat, her small voice breaking through the silence. "Daddy, who's that lady?" He hesitated. "Someone who needs help, sweetheart." When he reached the hospital, nurses rushed to take Lena away. The doctor's words blurred in his mind: spinal injury, possible paralysis, multiple fractures. He sat in the waiting area, wet, shaking, torn between anger and something that felt too close to grief. Years ago, Lena had walked out on him and their newborn daughter without a word. Mark had found a note saying she wasn't ready to be a mother, that she couldn't handle their struggling life. He'd spent years scraping by, working 2 jobs, doing everything for Emma while trying to bury the bitterness that ate at him, and now, the same woman lay broken, unable to move, asking for his help. When the doctor finally said she was stable, Mark forced himself to see her. She looked pale, smaller than he remembered. Her eyes fluttered open, confusion mixing with shame. "Mark?" Her voice cracked. "Why are you here?" He swallowed hard. "I found you on the road. You were hurt." Tears slipped down her cheeks. "You shouldn't have stopped for me." "Yeah, well," he said softly, "you don't get to decide that anymore." Days passed. Mark visited every day, though he told himself it was just to make sure she didn't die with questions left unanswered. Emma came too, holding Lena's hand without understanding who she really was. Lena began to talk, slowly, painfully. She told him how she'd left because she'd been trapped in something darker than he'd ever known, a man who'd promised her everything, then beat her when she tried to leave. She'd been running that night. "I was trying to come see you," she whispered one evening. "I wanted to see her. To say I was sorry." Mark's jaw tightened. "You should have done that years ago." "I know," she cried. "I thought I could fix my life first. But it's too late, isn't it?" He didn't answer. He couldn't. Because part of him still hated her, but another part, the tired, lonely part that remembered who she was before life broke her, couldn't stop feeling sorry. Winter came fast that year. Lena was discharged but couldn't walk. She had nowhere to go. The shelter she'd been offered was full, and she refused to call anyone from her past. Mark didn't want to, God knew he didn't, but he heard himself say, "You can stay with us. Just until you're back on your feet." Lena's eyes filled with tears. "Mark, no, I can't, don't make it harder," he interrupted. "Emma already thinks you're her friend. She'll be heartbroken if you disappear." So she came home. Their small house felt crowded at first, awkward silences, the creak of her wheelchair in the hallway, the memories that seemed to live in every corner. But little by little, things began to change. Lena helped Emma with her reading. She learned to cook again, even from her chair. Mark found himself laughing at things he hadn't noticed in years, the silly way Emma sang, the quiet gratitude in Lena's smile. Then one night, while he was fixing her chair, she whispered, "Do you still hate me?" He paused. "I don't know. Some days, yes. Some days. I don't. She nodded. That's fair. Her honesty disarmed him more than her tears ever could. Months passed. Therapy helped Lena regain feeling in her legs, though walking was still uncertain. Emma started calling her Miss Lena and asked questions Mark couldn't bring himself to answer. Not yet, but one afternoon, Emma came home with a drawing from school, a stick figure family, her, Mark, and Lena, holding hands under a sun. She'd written, "My mom and dad," at the top. Mark's heart twisted. That night, after Emma fell asleep, he showed the drawing to Lena. She looked at it for a long time, trembling. "She doesn't know," Lena said softly. "I know," he replied. "But she feels it. Somehow, she knows." Tears filled her eyes. "Do you think she could ever forgive me?" He looked at her, really looked, and for the first time, he didn't see the woman who left. He saw the woman who came back, broken but brave. "She already has," he said. Spring came, and so did small miracles. Lena took her first steps without support in their backyard, Emma cheering like she'd seen magic. Mark stood behind her, hands ready to catch if she fell. But she didn't. When she turned to him, breathless, eyes shining, he realized something. He didn't just save her that night. She'd saved something in him too, the part that still believed in second chances, and if you'd asked Mark now why he stopped that rainy night, he'd say it wasn't luck or guilt. It was grace, the kind that finds you on a dark road when you least expect it, because sometimes, the people who break your heart are the same ones who teach you how to heal it, and sometimes, love doesn't come back perfect, that it just comes back, alive.